Hey everybody, I'm John. I collect cards. Hope you're all doing well. It is Monday, March 11th, and we're about 2.5 weeks or so from the start of the season. Can't wait for it to start. And I thought I would just take a few minutes in this video and talk. Well, basically, I'm going to ask a question. Is there a particular set that maybe you grew up collecting, or even in the last few years, even is there a particular set that you kind of just look back on and just enjoyed collecting, or still enjoy buying singles for whatever particular reason? I don't know. I just thought it was there's one set that I've touched on a few times here and there in the last couple of years. And that's 1991 Topps. I'll just show a card really quick here. I'm going to show a few cards of this set. 1991 Topps. Seems like, at first glance, a fairly standard issue kind of, Topps card in what was, I guess, approaching peak junk wax time, or maybe we were already in it. So 1991 Topps was the last set that I collected as a kid, so to speak. I was 18 years old in 1991, and I had just started college, and things were changing, so to speak, for me, as any that kind of passage of life, so to speak. Just a lot of people kind of fall out of the hobby or just pause in their collecting for a time. So I've been hearing. So my story is probably completely normal. Just took me a long time to get back in. But this particular year's set, 91 Topps, followed in my opinion was a train wreck of a set, and that was 1990 Topps. And I pulled out a random 1990 card. And I don't have too many of either of these cards with me, actually, but I'm going to show a few 91s. So this was a set that, like, when this came out, and then also Don Russ that year had the red set with the script on top. And it was kind of at that point where I was like, okay, I think I might be done collecting cards. Like, I just thought those sets were just not enjoyable to look at, like loud, and just sort of just didn't appeal to me. Now, and this actually followed 2 years prior or 3 years prior, where 87 was a pretty good set. It was a classic set, I guess you could say. 88 was pretty humdrum, and 89, had the script and stuff for Topps, and it was okay. I don't have the cards pulled out, but if you're watching this, you know what sets I'm talking about. But when 91 came out, so let's move Brian Harper out of the way and get this card off camera. When 91 came out, I thought there was something about this set that just, it was almost like a return to what I remember, I guess. So if it's possible to feel nostalgic as an 18-year-old, I don't know, the set just appealed to me. Now, maybe it was because it was their 40 years in baseball set, and they kind of really wanted to make it good. In my opinion, they did. I mean, I think it was a really good set. And so I just thought I would kind of outline the reasons really quick why I think it's a good set still, in terms of just a visual appeal. Now, my leanings, I think, I like colorful sets to some degree, but I also like a sense of order in the sets. So this card to me is just, the pattern and the back and the lettering on the back. It's just everything about this card to me, or this design, was just not for me. But one other thing about this card, I'll put these down just for a sec, is that there's one thing missing on this card on the front. And it's the reason number one, which immediately actually drew my attention in 91 Topps. And that is, there's no position on the front of the card. For some reason, when we got to 1987 Topps, and the position was not listed on the card, you had the wood grain border, and you had the player name, and the cool picture, and the team logo was done pretty well up on the top left. but there was no position on the card. And for some reason, that just kind of was a hang up for me. The card didn't seem finished for whatever reason. And it continued in 88, and it continued in 89, and it continued in 90. And I was like, oh man. And I actually knew by that point that 1972 Topps did not have a position on it. And I believe it might be in the whole like Topps era, 50s to today, like 72 may have been the first one and possibly the only one until 87. Correct me if I'm wrong though, that there was no position listed on the front of the card. And so for whatever reason, that was just the biggest hang up for me for that time. It was like, maybe I was just trying to find an excuse not to enjoy collecting anymore. I don't know. Who knows? But that was a real hang up for me. And then when 91 Topps came out and the positions were on the fronts of the cards, I was like, oh my gosh, we're back. We're back to what a card kind of should be. It's like it's got those last, it's buttoned up a little bit. It's got its I's dotted and T's crossed, and it's like ready for prime time. I don't know. This is just me kind of riffing here, but I, for whatever reason, really liked seeing the position back on the front of the baseball card where I thought it belongs. Reason number 2, I'll show a few more cards now. Reason number 2 why I really like 91 Topps. I really loved, and I still do to this day, the design choice of making the team name the team's word mark. I thought that was, it doesn't sound like an innovative thing to do in retrospect, but it was, I thought, really cool back then. Because, you have the team logo, the main logo that they use all the time to this day. But using the word mark, I thought, was a fantastic choice at the time. I loved that they did that. I thought it really, really made them, it was just a standout design choice in my opinion. That's a pretty cool card. Not a lot going on in the background, but, cool leg kick, and just, again, it just made each card that much like the team, for each team, it just sort of made them their own by having their own word mark on it. I thought that was just a really, really cool design choice. So hats off to Topps for that choice. So that was the second reason why that really drew me to 91 Topps. And the last reason is, quite honestly, just flat out good photography. Photography in 91 Topps in a lot of shots is really good. Now, I don't have the Ken Griffey Jr. card from 91 handy, but it's a similar shot to this Lloyd Mosby shot, and, kind of swinging as a lefty batter, and it's just a great card. I'm going to actually probably find a slabbed copy of that someday. It's a little pricey, not surprisingly so, because maybe deservedly so. It's a great card. But this is, I just wanted to show a few shots of what I thought were some really good kind of batting shots, and these are kind of standard now, obviously, I guess, in regular flagship, but I just think even now, just looking at them, they just look really good. Maybe it's just a combination of, the name and the position are done kind of not minimalistic like, because you got the color background here. I think they're colorful, but the photos on some of these are really strong. This is a great Cal Ripken card. I really like this Cal Ripken card. I think it's fantastic. Look at this card, Sandy Alomar Jr. Rookie Cup card. That is an awesome card. The glove coming out, kind of like get the added three-dimensional effect there. Super cool card. Look at this Frank Thomas. Awesome second-year card of Frank Thomas. Everybody talks about the 90 rookie, which I guess is his college draft one. But this White Sox card's cool. And the backs were, again, compared to the 90 backs, and really, I think 91 Topps may have been like the last year of the ordinary Topps back. I think 92 was vertical, maybe, and it had a stadium picture, I think, on 92. I wasn't collecting them really at that point anymore, but I remember seeing them, and, I see them now. It was either 92 or 93 had that stadium piece. I think it was 92. I don't know if it was still horizontal. 93, I'm pretty sure, is a vertical back. But they started evolving that much more, obviously, because they had to compete with Upper Deck at that point. So 91 Topps backs actually kind of were the end of an era, and they were much better, in my opinion, than the 90 back, just in terms of the lettering mainly. So yeah, this Thomas is a cool card. The Griffey I spoke of is a fantastic card, if you know what I mean on that card. But to me, one of my all-time favorite cards that I have it slabbed. I'm going to show it right now. Just of any card, especially in like junk wax era for sure. But I would put this card up against any other card in my collection, just in terms of just eye appeal and cool factor and creativity. And it's the 91 Topps Roger Clemens. When I first saw this card blew my mind. I just loved the creativity on this card. Now obviously it's not using the word strikeout, it's just incorporating the ball strike out counter on the green monster. And by this point, Clemens was a strikeout king. I mean, look at, he led the league in '88, and look at all those 5 years in a row of 200 plus. He was just, he was just racking them up. And to use that, whoever had that idea to do that as a photo, just to me gets like, an honorary lifetime achievement award for baseball card photography from me anyway. I just think this card is fantastic, and I always will. And maybe I wanted to trot out another reason to trot out an excuse to show this card again. I think I've showed it one other time. It's just one of my favorite cards, and ironically, it's of a Red Sox player, but and it's in a SGC 9. I think that's just a fantastic card. So that is that's all I wanted to just do on this Monday evening, was just sort of talk about a set that, I'm going to probably pick up a few more slab cards along the way just to have for fun. That Griffey, like I said, would be one of them. There's several other shots in here that there was just really, really good photography in this set. And so to me, it was just such a nice comeback from 90, even though in a way it was kind of an end of an era for Topps. Because really at that point, they needed to, like I said, compete with Upper Deck, and the hobby was changing, and more companies were getting involved, like, Pinnacle, and Leaf was back, and just every other company. There were so many things going on out there, and by then I was not even collecting anymore, but it was a different ball game at that point, so to speak. But 91 Topps, I still like that set today. So let me know if there's a set similar to you that you kind of have, you kind of have a, that just kind of has a kind of certain place in your hobby heart, so to speak, that you still kind of enjoy, even though it's not like monumental or momentous for whatever reason, that you just enjoy collecting it or just enjoy seeing it every so often. For me, it's 91 Topps. All right, everybody, take care, have a good week, and I will see you on the next video.